Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Gears Pro League. I'm Blaze, joined with the fantastic Toby Campbell, and we are about to enter our third series of the day. And so far, we saw two great ones. We end up getting this chance to see Digital Slayers and Team Xysho, which is great, which was awesome. Went into Game 5 with Northern going up against Rebel. Then we went on over, and it was PKE United. Back and forth battle for four maps, four intense maps. Then we see another great Game 5, Rise versus Fury 1. Then it's our last series of the night, and the Pioneers going up against Casa de Papel. Is it going to be another Game 4, Game 5 situation here, Toby?
I don't think so. And I think most people would assume that to be the case. But It was literally the KCP in the first week that went 3-2 against Digital Slayers. I actually found out in the end. It wasn't Casa, it wasn't Rebel, as I was perhaps suggesting earlier in checkout. No, it was actually Digital Slayers, which is perhaps a lower ranked team, even more so than Casa or Rebel.
Okay.
Maybe Casa can bring the upset today. If it can get to that close as a map 5, then anything is possible in terms of how far I'm concerned with that.
But you did just say that, the Pioneers is going to 3-0. Okay. Casa de Papel. I think that was the first thing you said.
Hey man, if one team's going to do it, I think KCP can do it.
Hey,
yep,
I agree with
absolutely.
you. I think they can. I think they absolutely can, okay? Because when you got this roster of Bronny, Xysho, Acells, and Hndles, we know what they can do, all right? They are champions in our league. And when it comes down to them, they're upset that they didn't win that last major. They understand the pressure that was on their shoulders. And so, they got so much more to prove going into the last split. And I honestly think it's the perfect storm for this team, all right? Sometimes it get boring winning, right? Well, I don't know. I ain't never been a winner like that in life. So, I don't think it's boring winning, But, hey, I know the Pioneers, they want to win out this season. So Casa de Papel, as we take a look at their roster, they're going to have to bring their A game. You got Chavi, Addvers, Chaoz, and Solar. This team, we have watched them, ever since they was Abuelos Unitos. Yeah. Abuelos de sus nietos. And ever since that, they were under that team name. The older veterans really did, rise up and make Chavi and Solar their best selves, okay? And it's been great just watching this team grow. So the sky is the limit for them. And now we'll see if, they'll be able to take down this Pioneers team. And we'll see if they can get it done, okay? They pushed them to the wire before. They can do it again. Now, let's take a look at our head-to-head matchup, and we're going to be matching Bronny versus Chaoz. Break the numbers down for me, Toby.
Yeah, I mean, some awesome numbers in front of us, clearly. It stands out to me, first of all, though, that Bronny has the 6th and the 9th, 2 top 10 placements in KDA and kill participation. Huge, right? So KDA kind of leans slaying, and that's how you would go towards describing Bronny, I think, as a slayer kind of player. A slayer mentality as well to his gameplay, but also that kill participation. So he's operating clearly well as a team and as an individual, and I know it's been put to bed, and thankfully it has, but Bronny absolutely is a solid fourth for KCP. He's no longer that outsider. He absolutely is deserved of his spot as that major victory of his first time, back on the team goes to show. But also, just generally speaking, Chaoz as well has had some fantastic stats to his name.
Yeah.
And also qualitatively speaking, he is that old head of the roster along with Addvers. And he has kind of helped shape Chavi, especially into what's his, the potential that he was once given. I think Reflections was saying he was like the player to watch out for when he first, rocked onto the Pro League scene in particular. So, huge, absolutely huge, the potential of Casa de Papel, just like Team Xysho that I was alluding to earlier. This has been a really entertaining squad to watch play. Had the pleasure of casting over them so far already. This split, fantastic, so high energy, very difficult to play against, in your face in many ways, and a balance of speed and slowness at times.
True.
But also this flexibility that I think they have along with Team Xysho that gives them great potential. They can take down top teams. Question is, can they do it to KCP today?
Casa de Papel understands pacing. Okay, they truly do, and they can play at all pace, and they got veterans to get them there. Another dope thing too is that we saw from kind of the numbers is that the top 8 in kill participation, all those players being pretty much 30% or above is sick. Okay, that's a dope league to be a part of. All right, in that top KDA 2 as well. You know, we got some disgusting players in our league, and I do mean that in the most positive way possible. All right, now let's take a look at the battlefield when it comes to this matchup, as we get to see when it comes to control. Well, we won't be seeing Spire and Reactor. Then for the executions, no Canals and no Aphira. And then for the Escalation, bye-bye to Training Grounds.
Interesting. So we won't see Aphira or TG in this series, as we saw in those two maps before, with PK and, of course, E United. Not surprised at the Spire ban, obviously, from KCP. It's commonplace for them. Now, District Control is going to be picked by KCP. Tomb will go to for Casa. Meanwhile, Vasgar Escalation, no surprise there. KCP, astonishing map for them. Meanwhile, Ritual Control. They've been very good at that, actually, Casa de Papel, as of recent times. So curious to see how that one plays out if we get to it. And boy, oh boy, KCP really do love Clocktower, actually, these days.
Yeah.
They kind of left it for majors in the past and had really good performances on there, and kind of just used it as a way to defeat the enemy in their best map. Yep. It's kind of like a stamp of their confidence. But now it's kind of become their own, right, Guy? And so really cool for them if we get to it.
I think the most important map of this series is going to have to be map number 2. It's an important one because I see Pioneers being very strong in the District Control and the Vasgar Escalation, right? Definitely map 3 for sure. And if they start streaking like that, Pioneers, they're going to start to shut the series down. Also, too, Casa de Papel have to get on the board early. So at Tomb execution is there for the taking. You know, that's going to tell me a lot about this series. And so let's go into our predictions off that note. And, you know, even though I also, you know, thinking about District Control, this is a good map, you know, for Casa de Papel to really start the series off hot. It just depends on how prepared they are going into it, how confident they are in each other. If they do get off into an early district lead, and what I mean by that is winning initial and getting up on the first 2 hills, Casa de Papel may be on a route for an upset tonight. But I'm not feeling like a betting man, you guys. All right, I've been traveling all week. I've been on, you know, I'm tired. You know, I need a good night in my bed. All right, and I think tonight's that night. Pioneers, I'm going with them today. I think they got the series in the bag. As I was saying before when we were talking about their roster to kick it off, they're upset that they won that last major. They understand that it's the last split and there's only one major coming up. They want to go out as legends, all right? And to do that, it starts here in the Pro League. So Pioneers for me. Toby, how you feeling?
I'm feeling the exact same way. Although I am tired, but I haven't gone through the same experiences as you. But no, happily tired and here to absolutely enjoy this last series, I must add. No, KCP, I think, are the favorites to take this one. My predictions don't mean much after losing that last one to you in Twitch chat, I must add. You might get 3 in a row, you know, this evening, Guy, might as well. So looking good, I must say.
Well, I like
and
Jordan.
I think KCP are as well. You know, despite that 3-2 result I was just alluding to with Digital Slayers, I think they have this in the bag. You know, they tend to start off slow in Pro League many times, KCP. And I hope they do turn this around, also, that they don't continue to be slow. I don't want them to just be the major team in a way that E United was formerly back, you know, with Explosive, Praise, and before that, Mental and Gears 5. I want them to be solid all split. I want them to put the naysayers away in terms of losing Jackal as a coach, in terms of any criticisms going into the major. They need to be solid after showing that they do actually bleed, you know, in that last major. They did not get to a grand final somehow in the first time in God knows how long. So, hey, KCP, they do need to turn that around at the very least. And I think there's good potential here for them to do it.
I think it definitely is as well. And chat, we'll get your prediction in here, but I do want to let y'all know, chat. All right. And I may be crazy, but you know, Chaoz and them beat Pioneers in the Pro League. I want to say at a certain point, they beat them somewhere. I want to say last split. So I know that they got it in them. All right. And so, and I'll get that confirmed because maybe I am tripping, but they took a loss. And because we were talking about it a little bit in that last series, but nonetheless, we still need to see how this first map is going to trickle out. It's time to get up into the series, all right? Pioneers versus Casa de Papel. It's about to go down. And, you know, our first map on District, you know, this first initial is going to tell us a lot with both of these squads. You know, they asked us early on when we did the player-to-player matchup. I said, you know what, let's put Bronny versus Chaoz together. I felt like they are going to end up playing similar roles on this team because if either of them are hot and they're picking up multiple kills in a row, that's when their teams are at their best, I feel like. And so, you know, wanted to put them on the spot, and we'll see if that's true or not as we get another district map in a row.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Also, KCP across the board. Twitch chat went with KCP. Has to be said. And that's 3 in a row. Last time it was like that was the first map, or first match, I should say. Despite it being close, and a lot of those maps, Team Queso did come through. So it's looking good for KCP on that front. 3 out of 3 predicting them to take this series, and I think this is one of the more likely series, at least on paper before today started, that we should see a more dominant performance from one team, you know, really dominating both in maps and map count. So let's see if KCP do come storming out the gate, so they do start off hot on this initial. Bronny getting the drop shot in the center, already handling his 1v, it seems like. Meanwhile, KCP members down on each other. Surprised. I don't know how Casa de Papel came away with that in the end.
Yeah, it looked like it was heavily in favor of Pioneers, but as we saw Addvers in a difficult 1v1 right there, he was able to just hold the meat shield off long enough for Chaoz to get those multiple downs. Now, Bronny did win his battle towards the mid map. That's where the initial kill came through for control over the drop, but that was a terrible drop. Comes up short. Chaoz may even get revived in that position. Solar goes down as well as Addvers. Chavi finds 2, but will it be enough? As they'll hunt down the remaining players, and also Chaoz is in the fight. They're gonna focus towards the forefront. They split up into separate 1v1s, and they win. Or will they? There they go. They take down Acells. And now, Casa de Papel in the lead off the first hill, but they don't have the respawn.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to talk about. KCP do have a better position there, but saying that, I see a Casa member flanking Xysho. That was Chaoz, in fact, the man to look out for in this game. A fantastic player who's had a very good start, I want to say, to his pro league journey. He's doing super well, and I love that head-to-head against Bronny too. Those are kind of the 2 players that can lurk in the center of the map this split so far, and definitely Bronny in the past. Absolutely the slayers to try and, you know, throw a spanner into the works, into the gears of different teams as they move on through. So really cool to see these teams clash together, and a good start from Casa, and a good push on this hill too.
And Toby, as we see Casa de Papel push into the hill, they're going to walk themselves into a nasty cross. The Pioneers playing at full force, and a big reason because of that, I did get the intel Abuelos. When they were under the Abuelos name, they did take down Pioneers in a 3-2 fashion. So I was right. It was a split 3 in week 3. They beat them 3-2. So that may have been actually the last time that they played, unless they came up against each other in Emergence Day before. Pioneers may be looking for revenge right now and playing with a little chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, maybe. The way I think about Pioneers, though, at this point is literally trying to determine where does confidence end and cockiness start, because you saw so many of the emote celebrations at the end of rounds and execution at the end, you know, towards the closing stages of major. They've gone through a very heartbreaking major just past, and have had some difficult moments in pro in historically, and I wonder, do they actually psychologically take on those hardships? Historically, they don't.
They get better.
You know, they have had some really tough moments recently.
They should be able
maybe they will actually take that into account against Casa.
Yeah, they definitely should. And even just on GP alone, you know, just the fact that they lost the last major, they're coming at a full force. But I will say, on a pro level mindset, it's an individual, you know, team by team basis, right? And all Casa de Papel knows is that we beat you the last time we played you, all right? And so we're ready to do it again in the league with our new org. And so far, it's been a close map number 1. Bronny will have the spawn locked in. Chaoz gets timed out there. Addvers, he'll keep a lance over Bronny's head and keep him down low. Now, as far as the new drop shot and spawns go, Pioneers, they got a good spread across the map. This is where Hndles earns his paycheck, all right? He intentionally pushed out just so he can, you know, get into a 1v1. As long as he's in a 1v1, his team is cool. He's in a 3, and then he sees things like this where he's like, oh, so you got to force me to fight? All right, since you're going to force me to fight, oh, he almost got it, right? He came up short on the strength. But he's like, if you're going to force me to fight, then in that confidence, he knows he loves being aggressive in those 1v1s. Also, his team just got so many free points off the hill. Okay?
Yeah, I love that.
It's designed that way. That's one of the best 1v1 plays that we've seen all day, and I just want to highlight that for everybody.
I love how polished Hndles is generally with his gameplay. He's a lot slower, than I want to say, than a lot of pros, but it's because he's so confident in that decision making. It's akin to the point I was making about Addvers earlier with how confident he is in these shot holds, the hard aims as players just fly into him. It's kind of the same thing with Hndles, but all day, every day, he is just slow, methodical, and confident in every single decision he makes. In a way that it kind of reminds you of Mental, right? When you compare against him
100%.
Back in Gears 4, on Ultimate Edition even. It was even in UE. I was having this discussion with Jim Bob a while back that it was Mental that started holding shots more consistently than anyone else, but it wasn't on Gears 4, it was on UE that he started really dialing that in, and it only became a big meta thing in Gears 4. So it was a kind of, again, Mental discovering that shot, if you will, in a way that no one else really picked up on until a later title when it meant so much more. And I think Hndles is kind of similar to Mental in that way in how he plays. It's really cool to see.
Really cool indeed. You gotta have Xysho back up his teammate, and the Pioneers, they'll have full control over Bandstand, but up top, Casa de Papel looking to fly on through Pergola, but they're doing a great job right now not getting folded this time around, and instead they'll spread their wings. They'll have a great setup here towards the spawn. They're gonna be watching cinema side of the map as well. And no power weapons coming up anytime soon. They should be able to start collecting some time. I like this for Casa de Papel. But with the lead that the Pioneers have, they are intentionally slowing the game down. This is something that they want. They're talking. They said, hey, we won the first half, right? It's halftime. We can come out this hill. We got a big little lead. Spread out across the map. They're clearing corners right now. All right? They're making sure that they got all the intel in the world for this push. Now with the wiggle room that they have, let's see how they're gonna break this defensive setup. Is it made out of paper?
Yeah, I love that. KCP taking the time, as you said, stacking up ready because they have such a huge point cushion to deal with. Drop shot as well could be very cool. Absolutely.
Ooh.
Hndles, lovely wrap though, timed it perfectly. Active in the chamber for Xysho. It seems almost but over for Casa de Papel, the defense 4v3. Shot grenade, a drop shot for good measure. Solar will fall. Addvers as well. Back, mind you, does get a kill. Acells on the pinch. Meat shield into the corner. They do finally get the down, but Casa are flanking through the front door. Perhaps KCP have taken a bit too long now with that 1v situation. Oh, well. Whoa. From Hndles. Acells trying to clutch. Chavi, great shot back. Composure, nothing but. With 30 seconds left on this hill for him to find.
Hey, the defense looked a little fickle, but they had a lot of sheets of paper there, all right? You know, and they were able to get into that fight once again. And that's a win for Casa de Papel. So we rotate on over towards Hotel. Pioneers do have 3 members on that side of the map. Chavi will opt to take the wide angle away from this fight, knowing that it's just scrap time left. He wants to regroup with his teammates and be in a better position. He's taking a lot of damage on that route. Xysho manages to he doesn't stay alive, but he puts himself in a difficult position for him to get cleaned up. And as all those players have to cross that open ground, they take a lot of damage, but nonetheless, the revives come through. Acells almost comes away with a double. It's going to be Casa de Papel set up once again, and you know, as long as they can stack up, they'll be as hard as a tree.
Yep. Hard tree to climb, though, I must say. For Casa, KCP have a huge score lead that's built up at this point in time. Chavi 10-5. Love to point out that KD against KCP of all players and this score difference. Nonetheless, him still going off. Acells found out though by Addvers on the bandstand. Chaoz under a lot of pressure as well. 1v2 from to deal with. Finds the one. What more do you want from that individual? Great shot from him. And Bronny taken down as well. Casa still finding the points, finding the pushes to keep the score close enough. That 1 point score difference, or 100 point score difference, Blaze, has been brought down to pretty much 50 points now. They have a drop shot against them.
All right. It's Casa de Papel slowly but surely burning away this deficit as Xysho, he's tucked in a corner. No better place for him to be, honestly. as he has Bronny able to work the tight corners there on top of the hill. They'll pick up one. Addvers, he takes care of Hndles. Currently a 3v2 on the map in favor of the Pioneers. Addvers will disengage, waiting for a little extra help. We got Hndles coming off the respawn. He's going to fill that gap in towards mid-map. We don't know what the drop shot status is going to be just yet. He's going to hold his angle. Xysho steps up. A misroll. He gets a kill and a freebie. Actually gets a two-piece and a biscuit, if I must say so. Now Xysho can rotate on over towards Pergola. Hasn't cleared that corner, but no need for him to try to take over that much of the map. That's just being greedy. And the only greedy player we got in this lobby, the only stingy player we got in this lobby is Hndles.
And I think we're back to a 100-point difference in just a moment. Addvers and Solar flying through to get the kills. They do it quick. Acells is down, as is Xysho, with 25 points left on the hill once more. Casa, again, not going to get too many points in this one. KCP had definitely the majority there. And the drop shot up in 20 seconds. KCP will come off fresh as a team, ready for this next hill, and should be for that drop shot too. So could KCP close it out on this next one? 50 points remaining for them.
Oh, they're trying their best. Definitely trying their best, as they will spread out, and they're going to have control over towards Arcade and the spawn. Xysho gets the cross, the drop shot in hand. So KCP now, they're going to start working for control over that spawn, but with the power weapons they have, I think they're in a good spot. Zolaire with a great angle there towards mid-map. It's multiple downs. He's going to press out with Chaoz. Pioneers is literally trapped. They can't do much with the power weapon. Chaoz understands the pressure in which they're feeling, so he moves in for the cleanup. But you do see Pioneers finding a kill of their own. A beautiful flash from Xysho. Now squares up in a 1v1. Has help from his teammate above in the window. Bronny, the Guardian Angel. Pioneers looking cool, calm, and collected at the arcade. They can wrap up this map on this hill. Plenty of points remaining. And they just did a victory round. Now it's time for the victory dances. Pioneers contested, but ultimately, they're the ones that dominated. They'll come away with district.
That's more like it, Guy, for me. That's more like the KCP I'm familiar with. Just that level of consistency, that huge score lead, double the score in the end of their opponent.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even anything too crazy, was it? Anything too flashy. It wasn't just raw individual skill in the way that we were describing United earlier, bailing themselves out of situations because they've been out-strategized, out-rotated. No, it was in fact them getting there first oftentimes in the rotations, them having to just use the Lancers. And they didn't get too cocky with it either. They weren't just flying into 1v2s. They were playing the numbers, playing the odds constantly. And it seems like they were as a result, they were treating it as seriously as you could ever treat a Gears of War game, right?
Agreed.
They're not playing down to their opponents. They're ensuring that they really do ruthlessly win by the biggest margin possible, and ultimately making sure that they win in the shortest period of time. And that was a quick control game. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they didn't seem to break a sweat doing it.
They gave Casa de Papel as much respect as they earned, okay? As they fought for, and that was the effort of them. You know, KCP, outside of the first heal, right? Because I think that as soon as we started to kind of transition over towards this fight, literally it was this fight, from there the score is going to continue to go up from arcade, across towards ATM, down towards hotel to bandstand. It was all the Pioneers, and they had great drop shot control. I will say this though, Casa de Papel, man, on an individual level, these players got heart, right? So they just got to start, sinking a little bit more, because we see them having a clutch up. We see, the veterans going big, but I want to see them stick together a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, Casa had some great moments. They really did. And I was surprised they kept it within a 50-point score differential at times, Guy. I really was. And the fact that it's against KCP, who are seemingly playing quite well from what we've seen here on the first map, it goes to show that Casa are a great team. Now, looking at the scoreboard on top of our screen right now, you might think, Casa, yeah, maybe they're not that close, and KCP have just had a typical KCP domination here on control. But Casa are there, their shotguns are working, they're really having some great moments as a team. They just need some of that energy now on Tomb execution. You said it best. Map 2 is crucial. I think it does actually set the pace of the entire series rather than just that map 1, because it is a good map for KCP, admittedly, and they do like their control. So yeah, Casa, if they can really cause an upset maybe on map number 2, that would set them up for a really good series actually against KCP. And
it would. You
said it as well. They've done it before. They have beaten them in Pro League. So
it'll at least get them to a map 4, right? You know, Casa, they're going to have to get themselves to another control. It'll be us playing on Ritual. And I think that's a map that could be better for them. And then they just take that momentum on over towards the execution and go from there. And like I said, they got players with a lot of heart, okay? They don't go down easy in fights. They buy time for their teammates to get to them. And so as they start processing the call outs a little bit faster, they're going to get a little bit quicker on the maps, the comms get clear, they start understanding objective after objective, and they're getting to it without being told. Hey, they'll be a scary team as they start getting to these POIs, these point of interest together at the right time, rather than in kind of like pairs of twos. They'll be able to fight as a unit. So nonetheless, Casa de Papel, we'll see if they can take this map number 2. We're going to Tomb, all right? And so this map is probably the perfect map for them in this situation. I think that if it was like something like a Checkout or a Clocktower, it'd be a difficult map number 2 for them to win. But I'm liking Tomb just because of the individual lanes and how they play out.
Yeah, I think so. I'm with you on that. We saw how the lanes played out earlier with Northern Forces. They had a very difficult time of containing Rebel with their amazing approach to picking up the Torpo, Crack constantly getting the Torpo sticks. And when you look at the players on Casa, they definitely have the skill to pull something off like that, you know, and rely on a Torpo player to go off. So they can actually go for a very unorthodox strat in many ways of sending a huge amount of players either to snipe or talk, just to guarantee you get it, and then kind of avoiding the 1v1 team fights if KCP do actually turn out to be very, very good continually in those 1v situations. As a result, make it a little bit more scrappy and rely on the mid-round. Saying that, I have to point it out, KCP saw them had the pleasure of seeing them on broadcast before on Tomb for a brief period of time, and they were really good on Tomb. Actually, Acells was fantastic at their 1v on snipe in general. Yeah. And if he can keep that up, you know, if KCP
handles at the bow,
have those lockdowns 1vs, yeah, exactly, then it could cause trouble for Casa de Papel, and this actually might run away from them.
And then in the middle, you got Bronny with his speed and Xysho over his shoulder. Like, that's a terrible twosome, all right? You don't want to go up against that duo. So the way that this map is spread out for the Pioneers, you have a final boss in every single lane that you got to go up against. So that's why Casa de Papel on the individual level, you're going to need a lot of heart. This is a very important map for them. But the way, they got a cool little storyline set up here on how they could win this series. And it starts here because I don't know if they'll be able to win a Vasgar against the Pioneers. And maybe they won a Vasgar against them in that last series that they played. I didn't get the exact maps, but we do know that they won a series as a whole and it went to the distance. So executions, they got to come away with this one. They got to come away with the executions in this series is their main key to victory, Casa de Papel.
Yeah, I think I'd bet money that actually they didn't beat them in Escalation in that matchup. I would assume that KCP won that one of all series, right? I would say, Escalation.
I'll bet money as well. And if we're wrong, we're going to have a watch party of that VOD.
yeah, that's a good bet. I love that. Absolutely. And we can take notes as to how to beat KCP.
There you go.
For sure.
And here we go. Casa de Papel had the key the whole time, right? You know, Imagine just copy these, and you'll make sure you beat them in the major. There you go.
I mean, that's what we're looking out for at this point in time, right? And all these teams will be researching and going through VODs harder than ever. They want to stamp their mark on Gears Esports. They want to win this last major here and make sure they do it. Not only get the win as a result, but if they can do it in extreme fashion of total domination, then they'll make sure of that. We know Rise prepped hard for the last major. Yeah. United did extremely well, and KCP had one of the worst major performances we've seen in a long time. Long time. Yeah. So KCP, just maybe you need to keep some tricks up your sleeve at this point, which just seems weird to honestly say about KCP of all teams, but they need to make sure they come prepared, it's safe to say, for this major.
They do. And I think they will, you know. They understand that they fell a little bit short. But I think ultimately at the end of the day, you know, we all thought, you know, Super Saiyan 3 was it. You know what I'm saying? we all thought that Rose was gonna be it, that Goku couldn't go past that. You know, and then he goes Super Saiyan Blue, and we was like, oh, surely that's it, right? But, you know, he was always able to go beyond only because he was able to reach some, he had pressure on him, okay? He reached a new adversary. Yeah. He was contested. And that's what happened to Pioneers, all right?
I'm with it.
They may have been, you know, Super Saiyan Blue the whole time, but Acells about to go Ultra Instinct, all right, this season.
Love it.
After that L that they took, maybe this is the right situation they needed to be in to really win it all out and do something special. Well, hey, chat, no matter what storyline you want to buy into, no matter what team you represent, and one thing is true, is that this split is going to be the best split that we've seen in a while. This major is going to be absolutely epic and insane.
What have I just seen?
And we got the best players in the world playing Gears for our entertainment, for their pride, their glory, putting on a show. And you see Casa de Papel out with the first blood. Chavi takes down Xysho.
Oh my.
They'll have to get round number 1.
Guy, the first blood of that round was, we saw from Ribs' overhead camera, beautiful cinematic overhead camera.
I was reading the replay.
Solet misrolled into KCP and found the kill somehow. He rolled straight forward and turned 90 degrees and still got the kill on that first blood before he even got to a player camera. How quick Toon plays out. This is it. Look at this from the overhead. I can't help it.
He's stunned. Okay.
He's stunned.
Yeah.
He saved. He was stunned. It's okay. Nonetheless, I'm so surprised that he was able to come away with that nonetheless. 4v3, negative 2v4 in favor of Casa de Papel, and looks like they'll be coming away with another round.
Well, I'll be
Perhaps
damned.
This is actually working for them. These head-to-head fights through the center as they do go up 2-0.
Yeah, you know, it's not as chaotic as a big 3v3 team fight, you know. With it being spread out a little bit, Casa de Papel can kind of get a leg up and dictate these fights a little bit better rather than, you know, playing into the full hand of the Pioneers, which you kind of can do in a map like Training Grounds where you're running a 3-1 or something like that, and 3-1 on any map. Nonetheless, as you see towards mid-map, Soler, he's having to cut back over here towards Bo. Bronny with the quick pick, Toby. He'll get out, and now he needs to find himself some kills.
Now he does. Oh, hello. That was a fantastic stick. So fast, he got the stick onto Soler there. Snipe picked up for Chavi. The 3v2 situation should be simple. Yep, Bronny just holding the shot forever in a defensive fashion. 3v1 for Chavi. Gets the check with that pop shot of his from the snipe, but should be all but over. Okay.
You gotta have your shotty out.
The back A snipe. I mean, if we got the headshot, the casters would have had a bit of energy sprouting from us, but no, the odds of clutching that one up are not as positive, shall we say, if he
agreed
instead of an Asher. But
agreed. I thought he switched his weapon, but I guess I was mistaken in this situation. Casa de Papel up 2-1. Chavi 1v1 in the lane against Acells on the opposite side. He rushes right towards mid-map. A beautiful angle coming out for Casa de Papel, and they'll be able to get the cleanup from Lancer fire from afar. That means that they can collapse on middle in a quick enough fashion to really keep their numbers and not allow Pioneers to get any advantages. As you see the downs come through, Addvers protected his team's flank, and Chavi back into the fight. He says, I'm not running, I'm just baiting.
I'm impressed, guy.
I am too.
I'm really impressed. Like the composure in the middle. Clean.
Yo, I'm gonna tell it to you like this:
not a single player that entire round, and to also get that spark to actually kickstart the round. That's a huge task to undertake against KCP. 6-1 is Chavi, absolutely dominating and the stimulus to actually find these rounds in the first place.
If Casa de Papel wins another series against the Pioneers, they're going to forever be in their head. And that's the type of energy that you need going up against going at them in the major. Like, yeah, we beat y'all twice already. What you talking about? We undefeated against you. We'll see if it happens. Acells with a snipe. Solaire is not able to connect with that bow. Acells can't connect with the snipe. Chavi trapped in a corner. He tucks himself in just a little bit more. He sensed it. He definitely sensed that one. Yeah. Now, this is looking like the heel's going to be right outside of the bow. Acells missed him again. Just shaping up his afro.
Lots of...
Ooh, there we go.
There we go. Great headshot finally comes through for Acells. But I was about to say, great movement from Casa nonetheless, out of their spawn, right through to where should be the... we're hoping, I guess, for them, that the ring will be. But Acells did finally get that headshot to change things up and really stamp the mark of this round in the KCP fashion. Great shots from Acells. Shot holding is perfect. The flanks come through. Pioneers sweep up in the end. But yeah, great effort from Casa and an awesome movement from the initial, right from the get-go, through their spawn and back into the battlefield.
Yeah, look at his thought process. First, the headshot, tosses the flash, gets player 2 out of play, downs player 3, downs player 4, says, let me finish you off. Now we head into round number 6. Solaire on a tree. Bronny's about to make a play on him. That's why Xysho gets close into the fight. They know who they want to play for. But Xysho backs up, not allowing Chaoz to go for the flank. He sensed his presence. Chaoz, that was a good effort from him, but instead they reset. Gonna have Acells move up into the cave, pushes back Chavi, but that opens up the angle for Chaoz. As he backs down, Chavi moves in. Chavi gets 2, and there's the third from Solaire. 4v1 situation. Hndles. He gets taken out, and Casa de Papel up 4-2. You know what that reminded me of? That position where Acells was? That reminded me of like secondary on Clocktower back in Gears 1. You know, just the push and pull of angles, right? As you're shifting on his cover. Because that's really the game of chess. And you saw a great move from Chavi saying that, hold up, if I'm gonna see Lancer bullets coming out there, that means that you're not gonna be able to switch weapons by the time I turn this corner, so I'm gonna get in your face. And that was
He's 8-2, guy. He's 8-2, and it's 6 rounds in. He's absolutely outplaying Acells in this position. Just as I was speaking to Acells, dominating in that snipe lane. Acells gets it this time round, but the clear strategy is different for Casa de Papel as they go all in on the Torpo side and rotate off. Bronny almost being caught out there, bit aggressive perhaps, and as a result, yeah, he's stuck. He was forced to run away and gone straight into the sight of Solaire.
A triple!
Triple Solaire! My goodness me! 4v2.
Muy buena!
All on his own up top.
Acells. Give him the 4-piece. Give him the 4-piece.
Nice nade.
Oh, he almost got it.
He was there hunting.
He was there.
5-2.
Casa de Papel. Stacking paper. Haha.
They are.
The more paper they stack, the harder it get. They're getting it done.
Check this out. Great stick. He defended himself against Hndles and that push. Then he immediately makes himself proactive, makes his presence known in the map, finding the triple just as they try to reach for cover as soon as they could. KCP 5-2, map point. Casa looking so strong. KCP aggressive as hell through the middle. And Solaire again
my!
Insane stick across Tomb.
Fiercely got some competition for play of the day. He got some competition for play of the day.
Oh, go on.
Oh, trying to thread the needle. Now, as this one kind of slows down, Casa de Papel, full advantage for him. He gets him. Don't give this man a torque bow ever again. Oh, I thought he went for the splash damage. He'll move in for the kill. He says, get off my teammate.
This is so good. So good to see. 4v1. KCP are surely out of this. Yes, they are. 6-2, the final score on Tomb, and what an incredible map it was for them. 3 rounds in a row in the end, guy. Super impressed.
Super impressed I am, as well as that man on your screen showed us that he is a marksman with the torque bow, connected on 5 straight kills in those final few rounds to close it out for his team and get this series all tied up 1-1. Can Casa de Papel do it once again and take down the Pioneers? We'll find out when we come back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Gears of War Pro League. We're all tied up 1-1, Pioneers versus Casa de Papel, and it's been a great series so far. And if I gotta be honest, all our series to today has been really good, Toby, and we have got a chance to see every single one. It either went to a map 4 or map 5, and the trend continues. We're guaranteed at least 4 in this series, and we're about to head on over towards Vasgar Escalation. But hey, I'm just happy, bro. Okay, it's my first day back on Pro League, all right? And I didn't even know I was gonna be casting with you today.
I know, man. I am really enjoying tonight. Look at these highlights we go through. So what a fantastic.
Chat wanted to see that one replay back.
Sick. Yep,
yeah, this is
absolutely so. And it's just such a good performance generally. That was an awesome stick on a Xysho, and that Chavi clip earlier just goes to show how much he was handling Acells in the middle. Meanwhile, someone we didn't talk about much in that map was Xysho. He finished 0-7.
Ooh, 0-7. We saw that. We gonna call that out.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. It's all these different variables basically play into the scoreline that we saw and determine how it played out. Solo just dominating with the torque bow in the end. KCP couldn't do anything despite going heavy in the middle. Acells having trouble in a lane he's usually doing so much in for his team in the first place. You know, the icebreaker oftentimes. It was Chavi who was dominating there. Who would have thought that Chavi would be just cancelling out Acells?
I think
never in a million years.
Chat may beg to differ. I see a lot of Chavi fans in the chat tonight. Every time I pick over it, Chavi, where's Chavi at? That's the chat all night long. Okay, hey, he got a fan club up in there. All right, I don't blame him. All right, I think it's led by reflections, and I think he started on the low. Okay, the Chavi fan club. All right, on the second account, but hey, that's just a lot of love, and it's well deserved too. But we got to head on over towards Vasgar Escalation. And, hey, we're going to all be honest, okay, in the room. We looked at the map lineup, and we said 5-0 Pioneers with ease, right? I think that's how we all felt about it. Yeah.
Can't argue. Can't argue. So,
well, but even though we're going to put that one out there, we'll see how Casa de Papel is going to fare up against the Pioneers on it. What do they need to do to be successful up against the Pioneers, Toby? And what makes the Pioneers so successful on Vasgar?
I hate to say it, but just throw a torque bow down for Soler. Just do it. First round.
Oh, yeah, that's a great counter. That's a great counter, the way he was hitting those shots. And we know when players are, when they're playing, when they have like that favorite power weapon and they're playing super well, they will do anything to make sure their opponent don't get it. They will do anything to pick it up off the middle of the map and go hard. And I think that's a great one too. There's
some truth to it though. I was kind of saying it jokingly, but if you, it's going to be very difficult to beat KCP on that map, regardless of whether you just beat them 6-2 or in a stunning fashion on Tomb or not. Doesn't matter. It's KCP at the end of the day. Throw a torque bow down first, second round, just get it down instantly.
Yep.
Just to set the pace and allow the kind of team fights we saw on Tomb throughout the middle, where it's a bit more compact and guaranteed you'll at least get like a 3v instead of a 2v2. Because then KCP perhaps will succeed in that situation. And you need that kind of difference maker, I think. Also, the torque bow means there won't be a snipe or an M-bar there, which we know KCP are absolutely insane with. Throw the torque bow down instead, just to make sure it's not that or a drop shot or something crazy which could bring 4v4. I think, why not? Just go over torque bow.
M-bar, sniper, in any of the 4 members' hands on the Pioneers is just game. Okay, it's just game at that point. So I agree with you when it comes down to the bow plays, but you're gonna have to deal with Hndles. I think he's gonna be for me, he's the best bow player on this Pioneer squad. And hey, maybe you put a bow up top at luggage. We'll see if something like that happens. We'll see if we can manifest it. But I'm with you on the power weapons. But we got to see if Casa de Papel. We know this. If they want any chance, they got to win some of these rounds without the power weapons on the map. At least 1 or 2 of them in this early game.
Yeah, I'm curious, but I do genuinely feel like a Vasgar of this nature against KCP will eventually have to go that route. It's just a question of making sure you don't do it too late, not giving yourself a big enough round cushion to work your best strategy out for that new Vasgar, if you will, of say a taunt bow or whatever that differentiates things there. As we
this looks weird.
Have just a delay for the moment.
Yeah, I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it in my soul. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, man.
All right, but that's all good. We got the reset feature. We got our little round reset we can bring on through. Who is that? Addvers. All right. Okay. All right, we're gonna come on back. You guys get to see our faces once again. Hello, chat. How you doing? Everybody's comfortable. Who all ate? What y'all eat for dinner? All right. I had I had Chinese. I had like a chicken sandwich. I got like a salad in the fridge. I'm gonna eat later. I've been snacking on nuts and Swedish fish, and we've been staying hydrated because that's what we do. We eat when we cast. I don't know about you. I'm like Colin. I nibble. I like mute my mic though.
Yeah. No, you and me both. I don't nibble on the mic. I'm scared it will come through or whatever, and just concentration. I have to be in the zone. But yeah, I mean, during breaks and stuff, I'll eat crackers, just plain old crackers or slices of bread. As entertaining as that sounds.
That's why I love when you have a long thought, because I could just sit up here. I'm like, yes, I could just eat.
Just nibble for as long as I can. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Fun fact, I used to absolutely drown in caffeine for a lot of my casts over the years. I find I love the energy that it gives me. It gives me the energy, and I get more animated as a result and stuff on camera. But these days, I'm drinking a bit less, actually, surprisingly.
Hey, the last caffeine go a long way.
Difference.
Okay, I hit my caffeine this
it's
morning.
It's helping me now, I'll admit. It's 3 a.m. in the UK. That and the adrenaline from the games that we've seen. A little bit of caffeine goes a long way, yeah. For sure.
Yeah, nah, yo. Yo, we need to get Toby some more caffeine, okay, everybody? So we're going to go take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be hopping into map number 3 on Vasgar. We'll see you soon. we go. Heading into Vasgar as we will see Bronny win his 1v1 at the B Hill. And this is going to put the lead in favor of the Pioneers as they capture the B Hill off the respawn. We did see Solar contest for just a bit, but my, what a quick round number 1. 42 seconds.
It was, wasn't it? Straight back into it. Despite the slight pause, it certainly wasn't a mental pause for the KCP guys. Coming off a difficult turn. And a very unpredictable one at that too. You know, we were talking about the idea that KCP might have a mental block if they do somehow lose to Casa again, as they did previously in Pro League.
I'm just claiming that now,
Yeah, and it comes a bit more likely when you win so convincingly on Xy. And that was kind of your story, right? Your narrative. If the KCP are to lose today, it would kind of be through the executions and the controls potentially. And they certainly had that execution unlocked. Less so the control, definitely so. As Escalation, especially Vasgar, is likely to be a really difficult time for Casa versus KCP.
Now Chavi in a 1v1 as he squared up at the tank. You got 3 members of Casa de Papel. Actually, not Casa de Papel. That's going to be the Pioneers as a scoreboard. Maybe gets flopped, swapped. Now, speaking of swipping and swapping, Chavi's. Oh, he's going to end up taking down Bronny. So, B Hill in favor of Casa de Papel, but they need to find themselves another hill if they come off the respawn in the 2v2 at C. Great angle so far, but they need to get in there right now, Toby, and get this decap, and they shall.
Yeah, Casa do make it happen. They are surviving, I guess, Guy, but somewhat of a score lead for KCP. They started moving. They're at full strength. Chavi's probably going to have a lot of pressure near him very soon. Bronny and Xysho are the ones leading the charge. KCP somehow just about get there without getting down themselves. Xysho there does get down, quickly revived. The train isn't stopping for KCP. Oh, good back A. Lovely job from Chavi. Chaoz just holding his ground. The measured way is going to get found, though. Chavi not close enough to help. Immediately lasered down by the KCP players as he tries to escape. Acells will fall, and Solar actually saving the life of Addvers there.
Yeah, he did. Now, this is a closer round than it was in round 1. As you're going to have Solar get to the hill with Addvers. They're going to work together. There's a second Lancer in the mix, so they can't decap just yet. But Addvers with a tight corner. He's able to fight off a few players, but now he has to deal from this lower angle. He doesn't have any help from his teammates. They're trying to stay alive, but they get doubled down in the corner. On the other side of the map, you will have Casa de Papel able to at least stop Pioneers from gaining too much time in a situation as they have to wait for their teammates to respawn. They got plenty of time to play for a trip cap of their own. It's going to be the most important fight of this round.
20 seconds to win off 2 hills. C hill needs to change, that's for sure. Addvers down. Bronny, lovely wrap, still very much alive. Only now just getting down. Chaoz comes into the mix, but that's all he will do. Enter into the fight, but he won't get out unscathed. Chaoz can't do much.
Yeah.
As can't the rest of the team. Lovely shot hold from Xysho. And KCP perhaps to be off to their usual selves here. It wasn't as quick a round this time.
It was
a long one, in fact.
Yeah.
But KCP did just look dominant from start to finish, right?
Yeah, no, they definitely did. Now, you know, if you are a Casa de Papel fan, at least they've gotten better over the last 2 rounds, you know? They were a lot more competitive in round number 2. We're going to have these Botox upgraded to Retro Lancers. They're going to play a huge factor, as you can pretty much lock down 2 players a lot easier in 1v2 situations. Hold down the lane by yourself, allow your teammates to rotate the hills a little bit quicker, buy some time for help to come through, and you know, most importantly, just make your opponent feel a lot of pressure. You do not want to get hit by that thing. Focus fire from the Pioneers. They get that first down on Solar. Here comes Chaoz with the retro. It's another 1v1 being won by Bronny. He is living in Chavi's head right now.
Tossing a flag.
I know. After Chavi was doing what he did against Acells earlier on Tomb. Brilliant stuff. Great push, nonetheless, from Casa, but even better defense from the man I just mentioned, Acells. A 3-piece for him. The quick rotation over to the A hill. Doesn't even need to be him that gets there in time. B hill, though, left completely on its own. Bronny, no one from KCP, kind of holding that one down to try and go all in on that triple, but pulling off the A hill as a result. Acells rotated early to find Chavi, and look who's hot on his heels there. Hndles, good stun. Chavi has access absolutely to that kill as a result. Addvers is there to help. 1v2 situation for Acells on the tank. Oh, good movement. Don't know how he's not even more damage than he already is.
This is great movement. He keeps isolating these 1v1s, taking a right route to get his health back. But, you know, that's the situation. Even at this level of gameplay, you're not going to be able to stay alive for so long in. But he brought his team a lot of time on the opposite end of the map. You just saw that Retro Lancer get put to great use. Casa de Papel, you're going to start pushing out with some confidence. You know that they just got a few more kills to clean up. They put themselves in a great position for a trip cap. Player 5 has to be aggressive. That's Bronny. He gets taken out quickly. Ultimately, I think Pioneers will find themselves a heal at B. Chavi gets the call out. He'll just disengage. We got a tie game currently.
We do. Despite the strong start from KCP, almost triple capping. In fact, we're somehow having Casa leading the way in score now on Vasgar. And they're holding the spawn close. Chavi just picked up a retro. He needs it there ASAP to help with this fight. Oh, I say that. Look at this. Supremely well done from Casa de Papel. Handling outside the spawn of none other than KCP on Vasgar. Xysho, last one alive, lurking through the middle. Essentially secret.
Great rotation from Chavi,
actually. For the moment. Well, they will be able to stop this at least in the C hill, but I'm curious about the rest of the hills now, players.
Yeah, I am. Chavi does a good rotation just to put himself in a position to help his teammates in that home hill lane, because he knows a lot of players are going to be rushing him. A great stun from Chaoz, but he missed an important shot, and he puts himself out in the open. Chavi, no downs. He gets one. Here's the saving kill at the B hill, coming through from Solar, taking down Bronny. That's the hill that's going to win Casa de Papel the round, and a retro stab comes through. Somebody DM it to Colin so Chavi can collect. It's a lot of tacos. A lot of tacos for one retro stab. That's about 10 if I'm being exact in Mexico City. I know that.
Oh, so nice.
So great, nice. Right?
I
good
remember
times.
them
good times.
So well.
You're going to have me in the fields, man, especially thinking about these Gears of War Legacy videos that they're dropping now.
Oh,
you know?
I know, yeah. Now I'm hungry. We've spoken about a lot about food. Now you've just mentioned tacos. All right, let's you know what? Let's get into it. You know, we got to distract ourselves as we head into the next round. Casa de Papel, can they get this all tied up 2-2 going into the half? Let's say a lot. You're going to split up into pretty much a 2-2 as player 3 will cut through mid-map and join up with his teammate after he got the intel that he needed. And this is, I think, the perfect setup for Casa de Papel. Yeah, I like this. I do like this, actually, from both teams. The first approach is just KCP. A little bit of an advantage over by the B hill as a result. The 2-2. Solar under a lot of pressure. Acells done amazingly earlier on this side of the map, but is downed in the process. Addvers trying to collect on that down, but not able to come through. Hndles, lovely revive and shots alongside Acells. Oh, there's the retro, though.
Oh, a beautiful back A.
Back A in time, though.
They stayed alive. What a great...
Everyone is there. They've regrouped. They're there for the triple cap. Addvers needs to clutch up against these absolute titans in front of him. Full red. Gets a break. Stays alive as long as he can.
Yo, what a play.
For the longest period of time I've ever seen. Gears 1 style through the archery of Gridlock. Classic from him. And that will not come on through. I should say for Casa de Papel, they will not keep that going. So 3-1 the score at halftime. Well in by KCP.
They have to kill Hndles and Acells quicker, right? You know, Casa de Papel, they had him in a 3v2. They even had it down, but it was a third player in that fight who just didn't take the wide angle quick enough to keep that pressure on him. Instead, he let them fight a comfortable 2v1 very quickly, then set themselves up in a 2v2, and you see Acells bait a player out. Beautiful kill from him. that's your, 2v2 Astro Battle champions right there, okay? They've won multiple times, and it's a reason why. That duo, they can finish each other's sentences if they want to. And, they finish each other's kills as well. So we head into round number 5. You're going to see Casa de Papel fan out 2-2 once again. Beautiful down from Solar. He's going to have to back up. Chavi finds Bronny across the other end of the map. This is a pinch, and this should be a trip cap coming through for Casa de Papel. They're moving quickly, and this will come through officially in 4 seconds, as they should have a 3 cap. Bro.
Oh my.
How you let that happen?
The distance of that was absolutely
How do you let
crazy.
that happen?
I know. He tried so hard, didn't he, to get the other side of Vasgar, but Chavi, lovely headshot. Down as well. Xysho's trouble outside of the spawn. And a lot of it at that. Oh my.
Why are you back rolling, bro? What you doing? You just want your teammates to die? They think you're going to get the kill. But you back rolling.
You deal with these monsters.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to be in front, be in front. I can't. I'm expecting you to do something if I'm behind you. If you die, I'll trade you. That's how the game works, okay? If you in front, don't worry. I'm your teammate. I'll trade you. Don't be scared and back roll and make me be front spawn and without telling me.
When you
didn't even take a shot. Like, it's different if I hear shots go off and you full red, but you didn't even take a shot and you back rolling. Let me stop.
You ready?
Nah, I'm with you. I love it. I love it.
Chat, you feel me?
A little bit confusion,
Anywho.
right? You might get caught off guard. You thought you were the second man. You missed the shot hold. You thought you were just the one doing the damage, and then suddenly you've been misrolled by Solar on Tomb.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, being a champion is just a different lifestyle. Now, here we go. You got, once again, Casa de Papel fanning out across the map. Chaoz, that's a big down on Bronny. Chavi in the 1v1 against Acells. Acells he has the right hand. He presses down, but Chavi's ultimate goal was just allowing him and Chaoz to cap the hill. Chaoz backs up. This is where you have to be really aggressive. You got to clean up this kill. That's just a trade situation. If you're left in a 1v1, that's cool, but you have to commit to that play, and the play was cleaning up Acells and taking him out that position. Now Chavi, as he's in a 1v2, his teammates know that they got numbers elsewhere on the map, so they have to play forward, and that's the game of rotations as they move on over towards the F hill. This is Casa de Papel keeping the lead in their favor. So, Pioneers, they'll send Xysho possibly towards mid-map or on the flank to put some pressure out. More importantly, they had to wait for Hndles to come off the respawn, and now they say, let's go.
That's it. Addvers lasering down with his teammates to his side. They have to be careful. Yeah, Hndles will get cleaned up. That was so strong. It doesn't matter if you're right outside your spawn. The chain revive will not help you after a while. E-help.
That retro.
Still caps. Yeah, jeez. The amount of damage output in a short period of time is insane. Meanwhile, Casa, big score lead right now. And Xysho is the one holding it down on the hill.
You know what? I got to be honest with you. You don't go... Like, that's where some teams mess up for playing for the trip cap there. That's where you hold your retro lancer because you just won the fight. You back up again and you play one more team fight. Instead, they kind of rushed on over, and I think it was Xysho had the high ground. You just put your team in such a bad spot where you're on your back foot, and now it's getting scary, right? You have to narrowly get out this situation. Thankfully for Casa de Papel, they got Chaoz. He should be able to cap this hill, and they should keep a win condition. But they got to play for more, and they got to take a long route. Yeah, see, they got to defend around E-hill. They need one more team fight to take the round, Toby. And they'll be looking back on that round saying, we should have just held. But they can still hold. It's not over yet. Come away with the win. Come away with the tie in map number 2. As player 7, Addvers mid-map. He loses his fight to Xysho. 3 was breaking out. This is huge on Chaoz. He gets 2. He has an opening. He's gonna just go to E-hill. Why don't you just flank F, bro? Why don't you just flank F? Why didn't he just go to F?
I feel the same way. You're just literally...
What the hell?
Right now, speaking.
I
love it.
Yo! What the? I'm not even invested in this like that. I voted for the Pioneers to win. But why didn't you go to F?
You need more hills.
He clutched the 1v2. Oh my God, I'm hurting for that. I am hurting for him on that one.
You can't hold on one hill anyway. Let's just start there.
What the hell?
Seconds ago, you're all on E hill.
Hey, look at him. Look at the map. He wins a 1v1 against the Acells. He's running. He takes down Bronny. Look at the map.
There you go.
Oh.
You went back to E. Yeah. He was in the zone, man. He was hunting the kills.
I guess you just gotta go to F.
Run for your life. Earlier, might I add, as well. Much earlier.
Contact!
All right, we head here in round number 7. As Hndles playing back tank, a beautiful incendiary coming from Acells. Chaoz upset. He wins another 1v against Bronny. He'll be able to get a heal for a squad as they're going to capture the B hill.
Has to be said, Xysho was 2-6 for an extended period of time in this map. Now he's 7-6. He's turned it around in a heartbeat, despite Casa catching up a little bit more in the score round score department. So, shout out to him for turning it around after a difficult start with the map number 2. Shot grenades right in front of him, laid out perfectly. Look at this. It's just an electrical field all around the spawn. Can't even roll to the right against the wall of Vasgar. It's all locked out.
I wouldn't even have took that, but he knew this game. He said, I can get around this corner, no problem. 2 hills to the Pioneer's name, and Addvers wins a huge 1v1 to be able to flank through his opponent's spawn and decap their home hill. He's behind enemy lines, technically. Oh, you see how he steps up knowing that a fight is coming. He wants to get the first shot off and catch him off guard. Did he buy his team enough time to rotate on over towards E? Well, they got to be a little bit quicker if they want to get themselves in position. Chaoz is going to play Secret Man in the corner.
Lots of Secret Mans started so far, but okay, you need more. We need more. Yep, get moving, Chaoz. F hill. Addvers. Good little shot to start things, and it should be simple. Bar Hndles clutching up. Chaoz does find that kill, so that hill's saved, but KCB continuing to dominate slaying-wise. Chaoz left alive in his own.
He's winning his 1Vs. Yeah, it is. It's massive here. You know, I feel like Pioneers, they got a lot of momentum off that last round. They're feeding off of that.
Oh, wow.
They were on their heels for a bit.
Again.
That was a smart nade. Just blocking the stairs, collecting the time.
Beautiful.
Yeah, this is a wrap. This was a dub last round. You ever been so good you won the game 1 round earlier? You ever so good you win the game 1 round earlier?
You just win with your brain before you have the opportunity to actually do the actions required.
You just demoralize it before the last round even come through. It was just like, we won that last one. Oh my, yo, Pioneers, they take map 3. And you know, it was honestly more competitive than we actually thought it was gonna be. It was good though. 2-1 in this series, 1 round away, 1 map away, as we're gonna be heading on over towards, I believe it's gonna be Ritual Control next. So the series has been a good one. You know, I'm happy we got 4 maps, Toby. Oh,
you and me both. Absolutely. And to be frank, with the escalation, I didn't think it would be that close at all. No, siree.
It was. So you know what it was? Hold on. It wasn't even close. Let's take that back. It wasn't. It would have been close if it was 3-3. If it was 3-3, it would have officially been close. It was on the edge of being close today.
I just felt as though that we could add a very swift 5-0. But it wasn't a swift 5-0.
Yeah, agreed.
Comfortable, you know, result in the end. This was great from Acells, by the way. Awesome defense. Beautiful reading Chaoz there, but it was less smart plays and just more basic Vasgar being executed excellently by KCP.
Agreed. You know, they're one of the scariest teams to play on this map. This is the best. This is their best map, and they are the best team in the league to play on this map, if you ask me. And so I, you know, felt like they can come away on top of it. In the end, the win condition, you know, the win condition for Casa de Papel is still the same. Winning the executions, grabbing at least one of these controls, and they're gonna have to do that at maps 4 and 5 if they want to take down the Pioneers. So everything is still going according to the plan. You know, of course they want to beat them in a 3-0 fashion, but the way the picks and bans work, and honestly, the way that you look at a 5-map series, when we were at MLG in 07, back then they predetermined the maps per round, right? And so, like, you know, you was able to look at the bracket and see who you're gonna play. You was able to see your best maps and like, all right, yo, we know that if we go to map 4 against them, that's Fuel Depot. We got to try to finish them in 3. If not, you know, we're gonna have to. It might be a game 5 banger. You know, you just kind of knew what maps you sucked at, which maps your opponents was better at, so you can plan that far ahead in the series, and that's probably where I get that from, and I can, you know, look that far ahead. But I think Casa de Papel, they just need to shake it off and have a great start here in map 4.
Yeah, just as they had on Tomb. I mean, they came away with Tomb 6-2, bearing in mind after they lost District in that fashion. Double the score KCB had of Casa in the end when they reached 300. Insane stuff. So they have it in them. Absolutely,
yeah, they
do Casa. They surely do. And I think it's surprising again that they got as many rounds as they did on Vasgar. So as
great effort.
Let that way.
And yeah, I'm not taking anything. I'm not taking anything away from them. I'm just saying you got to play for that hill. You know, you can't. Yeah, that was it. You know,
now you know.
Yeah. Now they only got one hill to play for. They only got 3, and it wasn't technically the worst play that Chaoz could have made. Right? Like he said, all right, well, you know, I got 2. Let me make it a 3v2 for my teammates, and let me go help them out. That works as well, but you know, and
your teammates are Jedis and they can fly across the map. Yeah, I mean,
you know, but I felt like his initial thought process as he was running towards his spawn was to stay alive and, you know, stretch the map out. And yeah, you just had to run in a little circle and you would have won it. But you know, nonetheless, you know, they still get a chance of running a circle on Ritual. So. You know, it's a lot better. It's a better circle than Vasgar. Come on, they're gonna have way more fun on Ritual than they would on Vasgar. Casa de Papel still on cloud 9.
Yeah. And they're a good team on this map as well on Ritual. So, hey, everything's possible at this point in time.
It is.
Everything is possible.
You know. So my question is for you is that, you know, what makes Casa de Papel a good Ritual team? You know, what is something that makes them strong?
Well, Chaoz last week was a fantastic player at actually playing for those secret mans, playing those awkward, unorthodox locations and catching teams by surprise. But then when you have Chavi and Solar as well, top on the map, might I remind you, going off and pinballing in a similar way that United do. There's United players between the columns, between the small covers and flying around the map, cutting through the middle for flanks. Then they can really start dominating in a lot of these team fights across different hills over time. It really plays into the kind of play style and the mechanics that they have on this team and can cause some upsets. Absolutely. Team Queso have had, you know, great moments themselves off the initial. I was comparing Casa to them earlier in terms of their optimal potential. But Casa, there's something about them with Ritual that I think they have a lot of potential even against some of the best teams like E United and whatnot. Maybe they bring it out against KCP in this one. And I hope they do. Because they have had a closer series in many ways than many would predict, especially considering that Tomb 6-2.
They truly have, you know. And, you know, for me in Casa de Papel, you know, what I think one of their greatest strengths is Addvers, right? Especially as an anchor on his team, because he always sees the map from a high level. Where he needs to be, they're supporting his teammates. And, you know, he just makes he is the finishing piece to every setup, okay? If you can get the setup, all right? He is the finishing piece where you want it. You just got to win your first team fight, and now you can get your setup. And if Addvers is there, it's going to be one of the strongest in the game. And so that's what makes him strong. But, you know, before you get there, you got to win the fight, right? And that's also where I think this team is at their best, is when he's actually fragging out and picking up most of the kills. And, you know, people have to try to kind of focus him. When that's the case, you got Chaoz, Chavi, and Solar just blindsiding you, all right? Because these guys, they move super quick around the map. And so when you know that you have to worry about the anchor to break that setup and get behind enemy lines, the front lines just become that much stronger. So looking for him to have a big map 4 in order to get his team to the map 5. And then from there, hey, you know, let the front spawns take care of all the work, but they got to get there first because this Pioneers team, you know, they've been in situations like this before, and they are really good on ritual.
Yeah, and I have to mention his name on this map. It's Bronny. He is incredible on this map, and this was even before he rejoined the KCP roster. He loves flying across the middle. It's exactly his kind of play style, right? Getting up close and personal with the enemies during those difficult moments, those transition moments between rings, going for those extreme flanks, but making it work, you know, pinballing between covers and causing big upsets, I guess, in incoming team fights as a result of what he's done to the enemy's numbers. So yeah, love to see it, and I hope that we see some of the special action from Bronny, as we haven't seen a huge amount from him so far this series, right? No one stood out, I want to say, for KCP in a major way, but he definitely has that potential in this map to finish off the series in style. KCP are to win it 3-1.
Here we go, map number 4 between Pioneers and Casa de Papel. Me and Toby will love for another map 5 to close out this night, as we got Solier going down first, but quickly revived as you got Hndles and Xysho pressing out wide. Acells will fly through the inside, picks up 2. Bronny gets it down on the flank, and Casa de Papel will get folded in hill number 1. But the respawn is going to net them the nades, and that's the kind of little reward that you get. It's not a reward, but that's your saving grace if you do lose that first team fight.
Look where Bronny is right now. As soon as they won the initial, Bronny was sprinting over to...
You know where he got to go.
Here he is right in the corner, angling away as fast as he can. Little bit of support from Xysho from the start of this round, and this is what KCB like to do. They like to spawn trap their opponents if they possibly can and keep them locked out of the map, even when there's plenty of points left on the original hill.
Now, Casa de Papel looking to try to get some of their first points, as they're finally going to get on the board. They're only going to be able to walk away with at least 10 because they got to move into this fight, especially while they got the numbers advantage. But not anymore, because the close spawn comes in for Acells. He'll just be able to rotate down low towards the nade platform. Hndles connects with the bow. He has 3 to work with as well. This is going to get even scarier for Casa de Papel.
It is. Just missing that stick opportunity. Bronny dying for the first time in this game. He was the one who guaranteed that close spawn in that position that KCP now are leveraging due to his rotation over to the next hill. Acells finding a kill elsewhere in Ritual. Solar under a lot of trouble here. Up top, 2v1. KCB, just look at the mini-map plays. They're literally stretching the legs across the entire width of Ritual. They have been doing it since the very first team fight. And as a result, Casa de Papel are simply being staggered and aren't joining and getting into fights anywhere near the ring at this point.
Yeah, you know, and they got just a lot of time that's left in that hill. They gave up 30 in the first team fight, and they just given up a little bit more on this next hill. Pioneers, hey, they're okay with how these fights have started so far. They still have Bronny and Acells in his hill. You got to clear them out before you start getting any time. But at the rate in which this is going, as soon as they get taken out, they're going to have spawns for next. They're going to already be in the best position. Yeah, you look at Hndles. He spawns up here towards middle, and he says, you know what? I'm just going to start rotating. If you guys fall, don't worry. We'll be in position. We got a lead to work with, and it's the right play.
Strong start. Such a strong start from KCP. Impressive. And kind of like a imagery of the ideal control situation, right? Always linking off onto those next hills, gathering points where your enemies essentially spawn trapped elsewhere. Acells with an awesome flank now. Getting great shots into Chaoz, who just about finds Xysho off what seemed like a misroll. Chavi trying to sneak on through, 2 downs. Bronny and Hndles just about staying alive long enough for Acells to flank and confirm those kills.
Great shot.
Now they're pushing the short spawn. Addvers completely outnumbered, and KCP are putting on a clinic right now for control at a high level.
At a very high level, as they're going to have the entire back of the spawn locked down. Player 5 may get behind them, or at least cause enough commotion to allow the other 3 members of Casa de Papel to break through the front. And he does have a lance hanger across the map, going to help assist on that down there on Acells in the corner. Addvers takes down Bronny. And in the end, Casa de Papel, they're going to be able to win the fight that they need to get themselves on the board. Now, if they could win themselves at least one defensive fight right now on top of this hill, that'd be some good confidence and some momentum going over towards the next one. It's a 50-50 fight so far. It comes down to a 2v2. Who's going to get the respawn down low? Casa de Papel actually spawns up top. And it's going to be Pioneers who will just make the transition on over towards nades. 16 points left in this hill. Boma's going to be coming up yet. So they actually will come away with a victory. And actually, this is really what they want. But can they survive it? Chaoz stays alive, and that's what you were hoping for if you're a Casa de Papel fan. He has about 15 seconds before the nades come up, so you can get both power weapons. And after that bow, that's exactly, well, Addvers will die in the process. Chaoz just has to rotate on over and put himself in a cross position, and he will. Now he can stop the nade pickup.
Needs to hit it, though. Solar, great push, finds Xysho, quickly shut down, though. KCP again rotating earlier and finding the setup earlier than Casa de Papel. Massive score lead built up now. Hndles, well, this was nice. Mantling out of that fight to enter into another one and regroup with his teammates below. Absolutely love that from him. The torp bow in hand, completely gone. Nades, flashes, everything thrown in now. The KCP, are they going to be stopped? Hndles great nade on the flank as well, ready to go. The double comes on screen for him, and Xysho cleans up Addvers. Great return back to the points for KCP. They keep breaking down Casa de Papel. Every time they turn around a corner, it seems like Casa get the opportunity to get into this game, guy. They just get shut down straight away.
Right away. And Casa de Papel, they, it looked like they were going to have a good setup. But, you have to just clear the hill as fast as possible while you got numbers, and everyone has to be focused on that while they can. Nonetheless, 13 points left, all scrap time. Casa de Papel has the next rotation. They got the spawn that they want. They're spread out. I like it. They're kind of tight here towards the middle, but they can break off towards the left or right, no matter where they need to. They'll get the intel that Pioneers is going to be stacking up towards the top of the map. And this is a big fight being won by Chavi's. This is all time going to favor of Casa de Papel because I don't think Pioneers is going to press into this right away. But since they got the bow, they actually can work in for a little bit. Cause some commotion. Oh, a missed shot. A rare sight. Chavi has the nades as well, but Bronny on the flank take down Chaoz. Hndles takes down Addvers, and it's a fight won by the Pioneers.
Oh, Chavi nade to the back, finds Acells. Hndles as well. Can he clutch up against Bronny? Bronny. Good up A in the end. The short spawn just across the way is KCP's. Meanwhile, Casa a little bit quicker here numbers-wise, but Bronny finds that first kill. That's quickly nullified. Xysho stunned for what seems like an eternity will be found by Solar. Bronny pinballing right in front of his last target there in Solar, trying to save the day, still moving at the speed of light, it seems like, but will be taken down eventually. 30 seconds left on this hill. KCP continuing to have that score lead, which seemed to be huge from the very first hill guy, and Casa need to change up the pace a little bit. Yes, they've gathered lots of points as of recent, but nowhere near enough now to kind of shake KCP.
This is the team fight, though. No matter what happened in the first half of this game, if you could win this team fight, Pioneers are still under 200. It's gonna on a team level, on a psychological level, it's gonna feel good for the squad. A missed roll and a stun. He misses two shots. There's the down. Hndles wins his fight. And there's the revive on Acells. You don't see that one too often, folks. But down low, the other duo in Casa de Papel, they trade off, and that's going to be Pioneers winning that battle as well. So they're in a great position. New power weapons coming up, 13 for bow, 22 for nades. And everyone has to kind of play away from this hill. Well, one player from the Pioneers will sit back. It should give Casa de Papel the advantage in which they need. If they do this quickly, they can get the kills, and that's why Chaoz is on the flank, because he knows they can't lollygag. They can't be slow in this engagement. They have to win these battles and get to the hill as soon as possible. Bronny, that's a great rotation for the nades to give his team that spawn. He gave them something.
Staring away at the nades pickup, but there is Acells closing the gap. Not scared of the turbo, instant gib. Over 100-point difference in KCP. Look to be confident in this series ending in a 3-1. Acells running around, great flank. But Casa do get a lot of kills at the front. Addvers trying to stay alive after a revive. That's nice. I like this. 16 seconds left on the hill.
Now Hndles, he's got to get to this hill. We're going to have our second rotation. He actually just holds. Casa de Papel down by 100. Can they flip this score line in time with everything in which they've learned off the first rotation? Can they put it together? About to find out. The hill is popped as well as the smoke. Casa de Papel ready for any type of engagement. Here comes the Pioneers. A few shots over the top. No downs just yet. Solier will down Acells. Bronny taken out as well. Man advantage, Casa de Papel. The revives come through. Xysho on the flank, but now it's a 1v3. Hndles left in a 1v3 as well this time. Can't do much. Casa de Papel, they're going to get some well-needed points in this situation. But the spawns, they have to take Bronny out of this spot. Does Chaoz even know he's here? Not yet. He doesn't see the gun. He sees it now.
He's sneaking. He is sneaking. Chaoz has located him, though.
Oh, this is a great flank.
Oh, love it. Bronny downed as well. You getting some points on the board. They should have a simple kill onto
Xysho
here.
Casa de Papel got what they wanted. They're looking scary now. And I don't think I'm speaking too soon. This map 5 is possible after the last 2 engagements I saw. This next spawn rotation is going to be super important. But they got the bows to work with, too.
Open things up here on this next hill, too, guy. Haven't had much action with the Torbo, have they? They've got it a few times, not already enough kills, or much kills at that. KCP have had plenty of action themselves with the weapon. Just 1 stick, just 2 would be absolutely golden.
You don't get no angles there.
Get access to this new hill and can have a setup, but yeah, he's still just hanging about for too long on that Torbo pickup, and how close it is.
But he ain't got an angle there dead center. You know, I even know that. You know, I ain't gonna tell you how many times I've been on Ritual.
So hard to find it nonetheless, right? Instead of rotating, I guess it's back to basics with power weapon pickups. Rotate to the best location.
All right, so Pioneers, they're gonna be fighting 2 separate 2v1s. Look at the mini map, how they work together in tandem to take their numbers when they can. Solier, he was able to down 1 player, but didn't get the help he needed. The last 2 members of Casa de Papel, they get to the fight a little bit late, probably too late now, as you saw them fighting individually, and now they get the far spawn. It's looking very, very slow for him.
Short spawn blocked. Worse than that, Xysho is past the Torbo line. Almost getting downed, but very much alive and close by Acells, who is the combat medic on hand, making sure that he is siphoned out of there. Following him right to the back of the hill now. But we're past that 250 mark for KCP. They find that initial kill. There's Acells. Xysho cleaned up Solar, and yeah, they'll get the remaining points, as many as they want, that is, on this hill, as they start the rotation scattering across Ritual. And KCP are the kind of players that can just do this individually. They can just be spread out in a thin fashion across this map and locate 1vs and kills from here on out and kind of trust each other in that capability to do that.
Now, Casa de Papel, they don't rotate fully back to P3. They'll hold up here at the Ritual. I think a new bow is going to be coming up soon. And it's a good flank coming out here for Solier. Rocking that sick Ram skin. I ain't never said that in my life, but that's a sick Ram skin right there. I like that. Yeah, I like that. Nice. That is, I will play that in on land, okay? And that says a lot.
Toy Soldier style? Like Gears 4, right?
Yep, hey, Jamie style.
Ram with Gears 4 too, man. Black Steel Ram, oh yeah.
Now,
also, Lambent Ram. Anyway, on Gears 5, Hndles with the double nades. Oh,
and he gets 2. And so Solier, as he is backed up towards the spawn, he gets a little bit of damage out. This is a fight he has to take, or at least has to contest. Some decent shots. Get some help from his teammates. He stays alive, plays the edge, buying a lot of time for help to come. He'll go on a flank. The pressure is there. But the flashes from Pioneers, how many do they have? At some point, the fight has to go in the way of Casa de Papel. They have the close response, and there it goes. There's the help coming in just a little bit quicker. That utility get into the fight just a little bit quicker for them, and that's the benefit of having a close spawn. So, 20 points remaining. It's a dash towards mid-map. New Nage should be up here in a bit.
Nice rotation from KCP off that short spawn of the previous hill, straight to the next one. A lot of teams, a lot of players might make the mistake of holding that. As Casa tried to rotate, instead they're all regrouped on the next hill. They need 26 points to finish this series off.
Oh, over the top, Chavi, he goes wide, he picks up 2. Casa de Papel, as they just feel more pressure of defeat. They're starting to play some of the best gears in which they've played all night long. Coming down to the wire. Ample time left to get the lead in this hill, but they gotta spread out. Addvers gets a kill, he gets his health back. The cleanup isn't there, he moves up, he cleans up. Bronny on the chase, Addvers with help. He'll be the bait. Now Bronny. Oh, he says, I don't get baited. I don't get baited. Come here. He gets 2, and he'll get a bow as well. Pioneers now, they're on the move. Bronny, can he get there in time? A revive comes through. We'll see if that's problematic or not. Ultimately, Bronny survived, and now he's about to start thriving as he knows how impactful he is. He just barely misses that bow. It's a 2v2 at the front of the hill. Bronny charging up with a headshot, gets 1. Almost takes himself out, but he pulls out a shotty. He did enough. Or did he?
Did he? That's the question. They can win off this hill still.
Oh.
Going to get taken out. Not a great spawn for the remaining KCP players, but they've earned it. You know, they've certainly earned this win. And Casa can't win off this hill. Oh, can they still win off this one?
Oh.
Seconds, no, they cannot. Nope, they cannot win off this
Player
one.
7.
KCP, but they're wiping all the team members of Casa. You said it, Chavi, rotating for that hill early. The KCP have
Player 7
in the situation, and 2 points remaining.
Oh, that's a good nade. Oh, that was just a flash. I thought that was a frag. I felt like he should have came away with some kills there. Nonetheless, his teammates is here. They're playing out wide. The shots, they're just too wide. Pioneers with their right hand and able to push through. They'll get to victory. They'll take the series 3-1. They were contested at the end, but you know, it wasn't no paper that they couldn't get through.
No.
Wasn't strong enough.
No, it wasn't strong enough. Bronny's rotation there is just an example, you know, from Torpo of kind of the composure, the teamwork that KCP put on for us tonight. I think it was truly impressive from them. A difficult tomb to have, you know, perform against you, it has to be said. I mean, that could be a top team taking notes as a result of Tomb and in terms of how that played out. And they might be looking at KCP with a magnifying glass now. Hey, maybe that is the secret. Let's make sure we play Tomb against KCP. Saying that, a point to mention, Blaze, I think execution is their weakest mode. It has been for the longest time for KCP. So perhaps they won't fret about it personally, you know, too much. Yeah, we dropped the XE, but that's common. So we'll just scratch that down as another loss on XE. Meanwhile, we were pretty phenomenal on the other modes, safe to say. Control winning by double the score in District. This was phenomenal in terms of how they played Ritual. Individually, as a team, it was all on lock. You had the Torpo threat of Solar after an awesome Tomb. Never really came into it, did it?
No, yeah.
And it was just business as usual for KCP. A solid victory.
That last play at the end, Bronny's move, boy. That was nice though, because he was trapped. He just lost his teammates. It's a power weapon up as well, and he had the longest straight line to pick up that kill. And from there, he connects with a few bowls, and it makes it so difficult. He single-handedly deflated Casa de Papel. Burned him to a crisp.
Blaze as well. He actually stuck the same down immediately.
He did.
He
finished him off.
Walked out and stuck him, you know, so like he was nothing, you know. And it goes to show, Bronny, yeah, he's kill hungry and he's incredible.
It's about to come up right here. Here we go.
Here it is.
1v2.
Had the damage advantage on the right the whole time before even getting into it. Then just shoots. And then the steam train at the end. Glorious.
And then he comes away with like
So
3-4
nice.
bow kills around the side of the map. That was a great play. Man, I don't know who get played today, man. It's between that and Fiercely. It's a tough call. It's between that and Fiercely, but I think I know where we gotta go. I know where I got it. We know where we gotta go. All right, 3-1 Pioneers. They come out on top, and that is a hard-fought victory for them. They were contested a little bit, but they didn't sweat too much. It wasn't nothing no Degree couldn't handle. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing that no Mitchum couldn't take care of. Okay, wasn't none for no Caress. All right, they could have had some Caress on, a little bit of Dove. They would have been good. All right. So yeah. GG's all around tonight. Chat, y'all have fun. Every series 4+ maps, and they were good. Yeah, it was a good time, Toby.
Hell yeah, man. Awesome
It was.
series all around. Absolutely.
Yeah. But as we were sitting here and I was debating, I was like, man, who gets to play it today? Is it the Bronny double kill or is it the Fiercely double kill? Well, I announce to you your eSwap X play of the day goes to none other than Fiercely, the man himself, the beast who stared down 2 meat shields to come out on top. Watch this, Toby. Look at him. With the down, back A on a cleanup, moves in, wins a key fight right here to allow his team to come through on the other side, but they were able to lock down with the entire squad to hold this hill and ultimately move to victory. But he had to continue. He had to move in there and take that fight. If not, E United, they win a crucial map number 4, put themselves a little bit closer.
Yeah, it was huge in the grand context of things, as you said. And the beauty of it for me as well, it wasn't just raw skill, was it, guy? Who was realizing not a great situation to be in, this 1v2, but also height disadvantage, not a great angle.
Yeah.
He exits the fight, then re-engages immediately once the 2 split up, instantly going for that up A to confirm that down. And then it was just a simple 1v at the end there, right? As soon as he just leaves the visual line of sight for both players, instantly one player just dies from them. It's kind of like a ghost reappearing.
Yeah.
Insane stuff and well executed from Fiercely.
Well played indeed from Fiercely. Had a solid performance all throughout the night. And now we'll see where did his performance put PK in the standings for today as they took down E United 3-1. On the other end, just look at how close these series were, right? Just that's all I want to just kind of really show everybody, okay? We can all read the screen, okay? We can all process this, but let's take a moment of silence and just let it air out because it was a good day, all right, for our day 3 in Pro League. Now, okay, where will that put our teams in the standings? Well, as you got PK up top along with Rise and the Pioneers, but it's PK with that 90% map win percentage for themselves, which has them in first place. Toby, E United and Rebel following up there behind. Anything standing out for you on these leaderboards?
It has to be first E United getting their first loss. It was against PK. Hard-fought victory, and PK were the better team on the day.
They were.
Can't argue with that. I don't think anyone can argue with that sentiment, right?
Yeah.
Even though, of course, I did predict E United win. Sadly, prediction didn't come through. Congratulations, Blaze, on that one. But also, another important stat line, PK, map percentage, 90%. They did lose their first map of the Pro League. It was against E United, but they still hold their heads held high. 90% versus second place in 75. KCP, of course, having not a great map percentage coming in today. They were, I think, were 65, 67%. So they've got a long way to go to chase up now PK at number 1 in terms of the map percentage.
Yeah, and for me, those bottom 3 teams, I look at those rosters and I think about it, and I'm just like, those squads can move up in those rankings as we still have 7 days left in Pro League, right? And I do think that those bottom 6 squads, depending on the day, they can go at it. All right, it's any given Tuesday or Wednesday for them, depending on when they got to play. So hey, I don't think we'll see any team skunk out. Is pretty much what I'm trying to say. All right, so they're gonna keep it competitive in our last split. I do believe that. All right, so hey, it's been a good day overall. Toby, any closing thoughts?
It's been fun, man, casting with you for the first time in ages, it seems like. You know, you mentioned UE. I think that's the first time we've casted multiple matches back to back since probably early Gears 4 UE. So, yeah, been really fun, man. It's been an awesome, it's a good laugh and some awesome series. I wasn't joking. The matches today have been insane, both individual maps, but also as we saw the results across the board. Such close matches. And yeah, it's been a pleasure, man.
All right, Toby, it's been an absolute joy. We're going to have to get you a plant name for you by the end of the season and get you up here with everyone else. That was awesome. Shout out to all our squads today for putting on a great show. And most importantly, shout out to the fans out there. We love you all. You make it worthwhile. That's going to do it for us here at the Pro League. We'll see you guys next time.